Hi everyone, it's Gary Nicholson here. This is your Planning Outlook video updated on Friday the 7th of September. Now things are a little bit more straightforward as we go into the week ahead with west or southwesterly winds dominating. A rather cool pattern will prevail, particularly across Scotland. Some rain will come in from time to time, maybe a hint that pressure might start to build as the week goes on. Now, if we have a look through temperatures, this is the 850 millibar level. That's at around 4,500 to 5,000 feet in the atmosphere, and it's quite close, so the closest we've got to the highest tops in Scotland. It gives us that useful steer then for those temperatures on higher summits, and you'll see really how things stay on the cooler side over a good few days ahead, only in the lower end of single figures at that level. So most of the higher Scottish Munros struggling to make it past 5 degrees on many days. A nudge of less cold, milder air gets in from the southwest across England and Wales in midweek, but Scotland barely makes it into that milder air, and a generally cool, fresh, autumnal feel to things really on the mountains throughout, and that cool air mass may still be with us as we even go towards the later part of the upcoming week. The charts for the next few days then look like this. On Saturday we've got a waving frontal system just coming in across Wales and the south of Ireland. That will bring some persistent rain to Snowdonia, rain pretty frequent across the western Pennines and lakes, patchy rain too in Dumfries and Galloway, bits and pieces just around across the west and southwest Highlands, but across much of Scotland not such a bad looking day, with cloud breaking towards higher tops, best towards the Cairngorms. Across Wales and the lakes, though, it may well be clagged in with low cloud much or all of the day. Now, weakening fronts will continue to pass their way eastwards across the country through into Sunday. Not too much left on them, but bits of rain and drizzle on and off across many western hills. Some low cloud in place, tending to lift from the north across England and Wales as the day progresses. As that cold front passes eastwards, slightly drier air will follow behind it, helping to lift the cloud bases. For western Scotland, though, rather damp with some low cloud, drizzly rain, occasionally some heavier showers, perhaps just in there at times. Not too much reaching the eastern side of the Highlands, though, where it'll be often dry with cloud breaks again to higher tops. Pressure looks fairly high across England and Wales into Monday. A broadly dry day, but could again be some low cloud on western hills. Fronts are returning from the Atlantic. That will move into Scotland, so some drizzly showers around, but may just turn wetter from the southwest here as time goes on, and winds strengthening too as that low just edges in. Now, the main uncertainty into midweek is where these trailing, wriggling, waving weather fronts will come to rest as they come in from the Atlantic. Where they're slow moving, rain may persist over a good many hours with low cloud in across the hills. For many places it could just be patchy rain and drizzle on and off for much of the day. Always focused on more western regions. The further east and probably northeast you go across Scotland, the greater chance you've got of seeing cloud breaks to higher tops and essentially dry for a good part of the day. So a general theme of that cool west to southwesterly airflow in place through the middle of the week, those fronts continuing to trail in from the Atlantic. Some persistent rain, although rarely setting in absolutely heavy, but just giving rather damp, unpleasant conditions over a good many hours all at once, but also some windows where drier, brighter conditions get in. And if anything, the fronts may be becoming steered a bit further north with time, so England and Wales in particular, may do better as the week progresses, with higher pressure just trying to nudge in from the south to some degree as the week goes on, but always just feeding this cool North Atlantic air across the country. The sea temperatures over the North Atlantic Ocean are quite a bit cooler than average, so always the air that's coming across it is maintaining that rather cool feel. If we do just see a brief build of pressure later in the week with that cool air in place, some chilly nights are possible again, so a touch of ground frost in some of the valleys and the glens looks believable, so always that risk of some cool nights. I think focus on the second half of the upcoming week. The indication maybe just towards the weekend around the 15th, 16th is that higher pressure is more focused over Europe. We've got lower pressure away over the Atlantic. Still something of a south by southwesterly. It may just lift the temperatures subtly with time, but I don't think anything too special, particularly across Scotland. It may just mean that fronts are very weak and steered more around the northern side of Britain, so many places have a chance of being a little bit drier as we head into the weekend. Tricky with how things then pan out further ahead. A lot will depend on the tropical Atlantic. This is a chart from the National Hurricane Centre. At the moment it's Florence, which is the tropical storm in the mid-Atlantic, that's the main focus, and that's making progress towards the eastern side of the USA over the next week or so, but further tropical systems may well be developing behind that main storm. And it may be one of those yet to develop systems which complicates our weather patterns beyond mid-September, with the remnants of perhaps a tropical storm trying to get into the jet stream. That chart, though, is for Thursday of next week, and by then there's the real threat of a major hurricane impact on the eastern seaboard of the USA. So that's one that will keep all the weather watchers' attention. So a bit of a mixture over the next week or so, one where there will be some drier intervals in there, but particularly on western mountains, rain will be frequent and you'll want to keep your waterproofs handy most of the time, and rather on the cool side for much of the week ahead too. We'll update this video early in the new week. Thanks for watching today. Bye for now.